Welcome back to Relatively Related with today part 2 of our fair discussion. So, how is everyone doing? How was your week?
Pretty good, man. I'm pretty good. I was supposed to go and not meet, but like go and see the statue and all that stuff. But I didn't do that yet because I'm very scared. But I promise, just because like I want us to have like a video a week or something.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm gonna go today and
That's
and
gonna
check
be
it out.
interesting.
It's gonna be very
Taking one for the
scary.
team. I like that.
So like I'm doing the small statues first, and then I'm gonna go to the ROM in the last week. And oh god,
That's a cool principle, I guess, for anyone with fear. It's like start small, right?
yeah,
Don't.
Because I know like water.
So I should start with like a small snake
Maybe.
and then move up.
I know like water is like a fear for like people. A lot of people like drowning and stuff. Don't just jump into the
no,
ocean.
you
like,
just like go
Oh,
into
you
your
could.
bathroom.
You could. That's how you
but
learn to swim, right?
What if you don't learn? But yeah, for me, I actually sat down and talked to. I took like one of my lunch breaks with my coworker, and we started talking about it and stuff. So we're doing it
Oh, wow.
in 2 parts. It's. I'm learning that death is like it hits people differently, man.
It really does.
It really, because especially with her, it had just happened. Like she lost her teacher that's really close to her. That was really close to her. She was the music teacher, like only student for like 5 years or something, and so it's really fresh, right? So it's different when it's fresh, you know.
No, it really is. I even remember like when my grandmother passed the first time, like not the first time, and then she passed the second time. No, but I remember when my grandmother passed, and it even some days today now,
Yeah.
like it feels like
Yeah.
she just left. You
Yeah.
know,
That's
even
true.
though she passed away, 2011, I believe it was. Yeah, so like it never really goes away, but. My little advice would be like at least you know that they're like looking over you.
Yeah, they're in a better place.
They're in a
right?
better place.
Yeah. So anyway, like not to make it too,
Yeah, I know.
because I know it seems like I'm always bringing it to the dark place. But yeah,
That's 3 for 3 right now.
that's kind of what I'm learning. It hits everyone differently, but we'll keep talking and see how it goes.
Yeah.
And for you, Trudy?
I
Are you
just
working
survived
up?
this week. No, I'm not doing the bug thing. I can't. I don't
You
know how I'm
can.
gonna do
Don't
it.
say you can because you.
In my strength, I cannot.
There was a person, like a great person, was speaking to us a few weeks ago, and they told us like they were reading this book, Atomic Habits, and the book told us never say I can't.
Yeah.
Say
Oh, yeah,
I
that
don't.
I don't want to do it.
Yeah, that
The
gives you
book
more
said
power.
to say I don't want
That
to do
gives
it.
you more power. Don't say
You're
you
sure
can't.
right. I have that power. I don't want to do this.
That's it. That's all right.
That's exactly
so
it.
you
So
you could take
For me,
control
I don't
of
know.
it.
I think with this challenge, it's gonna have to be something where, like, I don't know. I have to like maybe set something up with Tari to kind of help me do this. Because in my strength, I'm telling you,
Or
I
try.
can.
We could just
I
bring
can.
bugs in the room one day.
I can.
Yeah,
Sneak attack.
I could definitely
I
do that.
can.
I'll get it done for you, Trudy. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, because in my strength, I don't want to do this. Oh man.
What about you, Terry?
For me, I'm looking. I haven't done it yet. I'm just looking for places where I can actually go pet like different snakes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking for places that have those really big
ones.
snakes. Like, obviously, I can't pest like a poisonous snake because that's not good.
Right.
But I'm looking to like touch one of those really big snakes, like the boa constrictors or
Yeah.
anaconda. I haven't found a place yet, but I'm sure it will show up.
I'll find one. Don't worry.
It must be a bit harder now because like a lot
Yeah,
of things
that's
are
the
closed.
thing,
Yeah.
yeah.
But apart from that, I had a good week. Sports is back in full swing, so I'm excited about that. It's like
That's
everything
why I'm
is
wearing
on.
this jersey. The season started
Yeah,
today.
everything is on: soccer, football, basketball.
Yeah. It's
So-
weird because of the pandemic, things are that the basketball should have been done
Yeah.
months ago, right? But it's happening now. So we've never had any time like this where everything.
Yeah, I'm even
It's kinda
catching
just-
myself watching tennis and everything
Yeah.
like that. So. Yeah, I missed the sport, so like now I'm like going so swaddled into it, and trying to catch as much as I can.
Oh,
So
man.
yeah, that's how my week was. So today we're gonna talk about FOMO, fear of missing out. So my first question for you guys, when I say the word FOMO, what do you think it means? Like, what's your impression of FOMO, fear of missing out?
I always think about um, the individual who is like fearful of missing out. Now, I never really related to that because I don't really care if I'm missing out on something. But yeah, I always think about the individual when it comes to FOMO, like them being fearful of like missing out, whether it be a party or an event or a sale or something. So that's what I think about.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I think about like it's like a form of peer pressure, positive pressure, even negative pressure. So just like pressure, where you're fearing, not really being part of that kind of in group, in
Yeah.
crowd. So it's like you're pressured to either want to keep up with what everyone else is doing. So yeah, that's what I think of.
And for me, I think of like the fact that initially I thought it was something that is not gonna affect me because I'm like um I thought like I'm a introvert. We did introverts and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But then I realized because I know you told us we're doing FOMO today, so I did a bit of like reading in advance, and I realized that I'm actually affected by it a lot. Not in the sense of like with because a lot of it is like social, being away from people socially, like missing out on events and stuff. That's fine, but like in other things, in other ways, um, I could be affected by it. So I think so FOMO to me is like anything that like you want to be a part of, but you're not, right? So that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, yeah. So, Tyre, you pretty much said exactly what I'm gonna say, but you hit the nail right on the head right there. One of the things with FOMO, and I know you said that you don't think you fall part of
I
it.
don't. Yeah, I don't think so.
You'll be surprised because with FOMO, it's one of the most effective marketing strategies that business use, and with FOMO, it's one of the hidden things that a lot of people think that they're not affected by it, but in reality, we all are affected by FOMO. It's just those small little subtle cues that businesses and stuff use it just to get you to buy the product, to use the product, even the stuff that you wear, you're affected by FOMO, right? So we're gonna get into
Yeah.
it.
I was gonna ask, like, give me an example of that. But
I would, I know Terry said we're
I
gonna
would
get
make
into,
a
but I'm
guess
just
for Troy,
thinking with
too.
Troy, like I think when he tries to buy stuff, especially let's say things
Yeah.
related to
I know where she's
his
coming.
video stuff, his camera equipment, things like that. Troy would
Would go-
buy max of whatever it is.
goes all out.
So
yeah.
if they just sell, for instance,
Like
I'll
his
use this
MacBook,
PS.
well-
Well, no, I'll use a PS5 is coming. So
Day
I
one.
mean, like a regular person would just be like, "Oh, I'll buy the PS5." Troy has to buy the
Oh,
PS5.
yeah, he wants the-
He has to get the
the-
controllers.
the headphones.
Why do you need the controllers? You said the two controllers.
And it's just you playing.
in case one of them dies.
Fear of
One.
missing
No.
out.
That's
Good
not-
job,
That's
buddy.
not
We
fear
got
of
it right.
missing out.
No, but no.
Hold on. I need to defend myself here because I have it. So like, in case one of the controllers dies,
Yeah.
Fear of
I don't have to wait for this one to thing
Missing.
or whatever it is. I don't have to like be tethered to
Ouch.
the PS4.
No,
That's what it
I'm
is,
fine
yeah.
with it.
Right?
But here's
Makes
the
sense
thing,
to
what
me.
what Judy said, and I totally agree with her in the sense that it's not gonna come like when you hear fear of missing out, it's not gonna come like, oh, I'm missing out on something. No, it's those certain things where
Yeah.
like, why do you need the extra controller? It has to
Because
come, right?
You see?
Why do you
Why
need
do you
it?
need the
They got
digital?
you.
Remember, Troy, you're getting the all the
yeah,
not the
the
digital,
all-
the one with the headphones and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
right?
Example,
fully
a
immersed.
perfect example of fear of missing out is, do you have a PS4?
Yeah,
Why do you need a PS5?
because it's the newer system.
Fear of missing out.
Fear of
no,
missing
no,
out.
no,
It's not
no.
the newest
No,
thing.
okay.
It's not gonna hit you like, oh, it's fear of missing out, but it's just certain things.
Yeah.
So
No,
bear in mind for that. Like,
It's true. No, it's
No,
true.
it's-
Because
Could you go to-
Carrie's the same thing too.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
for the
100%.
technology, it's
Yeah.
like he's always looking up the latest phone. I'm like, why are
Yeah.
you looking up the latest phone?
Like-
you have a phone that works right now. Like, who cares?
Just before we started, like we just got our iPhones, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a couple months ago. But just before we started, I literally just showed Terry my new latest notification about the Samsung Fold phone that's
and I
coming
didn't
out.
care, right?
Yeah.
And he doesn't care. But like for me, like my FOMO is technology. Like I have it here, technology, right? Like not in the sense of addicted to social media or anything. I'm fine with that, but just to have
Technology,
the
the
newest
products.
technology. That's my thing. That's my thing. But is it so is FOMO if you want just the best of something, right? Is that FOMO as well?
My question, it is, but my question for you, why do you want the best of everything?
Because you're just like, for me, like, okay, because we bought the iPhone, and now when I'm walking, I'm just like, I know based on how many cameras they have, if they have the regular iPhone or the Pro. And now when I'm walking in Canal Studio, I just be like, they have a Pro, they have a thing, right? And I'm like, because we didn't get the Pro, I'm just like, I should next time I'm getting a phone or anything, I'm getting the max. Like I'm getting the best version, so I have all the features. I don't want to not have the. I mean, I guess that is.
Yeah, it
It is like the main thing, and I hope we can all, at the end of it, understand what our FOMO is because we all have it. So
Yeah.
at the end of it, we'll search deeper and see what our FOMO is, and it goes to the audience too, right? Or who's listening, search deeply because we all have it, and it's not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
But
Okay,
No.
but it's
Okay.
not a
I
bad
feel
thing at
better
all.
now.
But the main thing is that we don't want it to be consuming you. Like
Yeah.
we don't
It
want
shouldn't
it to
control you.
It shouldn't control every action like you make. Like
Yeah.
if a new technology come out, it shouldn't be like I have to get it. I have
Yeah.
to get it. Because in reality, we don't need it, right? It's not gonna really enhance your happiness or anything like that. Although initially it may feel like it does. Like initially getting the PS5 or anything like that, it may feel like it's gonna make you happy or anything. But in reality, once you analyze it, it's
But-
not really. You know,
But technically, he's been playing the PS4 for like years, and it still
Yeah,
makes you
and
happy,
it still
right?
makes you very, very, very happy. So,
yeah, but even if you play the PS4 for the next 4 years, it's not like you don't necessarily need the PS5.
I guess.
It's just like
I guess.
it's that fear of missing out.
I don't agree, but
It's that fear of missing out that if I don't get the PS5, I don't know what I'm missing.
Or the
Right?
newest.
like for me, it's just I like to have a good experience with whatever.
Which is
Whatever.
fine.
You know?
That's perfectly
So
fine.
I don't know if that's FOMO.
No,
Okay.
it's
Is it?
FOMO, but
Yeah,
it's
it
like
is,
because
yeah.
the thing
It's-
with FOMO, it's like you want. Let's say okay with your camera equipment, you want the best quality of things. So you want to. You don't want it
wanna
to be a
miss
case
out
where
on
like,
the-
oh, I'm
on
missing
the
out
better-
from having the best product that I can give to
Yeah.
my clients or whoever I'm working with. So in that case, it's sort of like that FOMO where you're fearing not having the very best.
Because
but
I-
because
I
you
get you, yeah.
understand it, it's not like controlling you or
Yeah.
like you're a slave to it, right?
You can understand it.
Yeah,
because
it's
Yeah.
because it's
I
for my
was reading,
productivity.
it's just like now FOMO is popular, like because of social media. We always
Yeah.
assume. But I was reading about the doctor who came up with
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I
Like
have
he was all the way in the 90s. So that was that term was, I guess Terry would have the exact
so
thing.
Dr. Dan Herman, he actually coined the term FOMO, but in reality, FOMO have always been around, right? Businesses have always used FOMO. It's funny because Dr. Dan Herman, he actually did it he coined the form FOMO as a marketing strategy that businesses can use to get us to buy the product. But it's something that have always been around FOMO. It's just coined FOMO from 1996. But yeah, you're right.
Because the reason I said that is because I was thinking, oh, it's like where those kids on social media and stuff, and they want to do everything, have every experience. That's what I was initially thinking of FOMO as, but now I'm realizing it's like, oh man, like when the new, like if Quentin Tarantino makes a movie.
Yeah.
I can't miss. I have to see that in theater.
Yeah.
That's capitalizing on FOMO too, because you're saying directed by the maker of X Y, all these movies, and you're like,
Yeah.
this is his newest movie. I have to see it. So like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I realize, oh man, there's certain things that I do, or some new song by an artist I love. You're like, I have to hear this. Like,
Yeah.
they want to have to be like, yo, Troy, come, let's listen to this
Yeah.
together and break it down or whatever, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So sometimes it does, but you're right. It doesn't. It's not necessarily like a bad thing. It's just knowing that it happens to you, or
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So just to give an actual definition so
Okay.
that people understand, the fear of missing out, FOMO refers to the feeling or perception that others are having more fun, living a better life, or experiencing better things than you are. It involves a deep sense of envy and affects self-esteem, a sense of helplessness that you're missing out on something big.
Mm.
Dang.
So, a lot of people have FOMO. For me personally, when I was growing up in like high school and stuff like that, one of my biggest FOMO is like my friends will be going to a party, and like I don't really want to go to that party, but I'm just like, but if I don't go, I'm gonna be missing out on the fun that they're having, So I have so because I don't want to miss out on the fun, I'll go. Has that ever happened to you guys where you have like fear of missing something that you wanted to do it?
oh, okay. I thought you were gonna
No,
say
I
a
know-
party.
I
I'm
know,
So I was
but
like, you're talking to three introverts. You're just like,
I know not necessarily a party, but like you
Wrong
might
crowd.
like you might be like
Yeah.
a baseball game. There's free tickets to a baseball game.
everywhere.
You don't like baseball, but all your friends are going, so you're
Yeah.
just like, I'm gonna go because of that.
yeah.
Yeah, I do that because friends are doing stuff like the wing. Like, no. I do enjoy going wings with you guys, but let's say I didn't want to go, and everyone was going, and people were like, "Oh, everyone is going, so you might as well." You might as well come too. I would go in that scenario.
Like, and that's the thing I was gonna ask you. Like, is it a case where if you are an individual who doesn't really do things because others are doing it, because I'm an individual who I pride myself on not doing things that other people are doing, right? I like to be individualistic. But is it a case where like, is it still FOMO if you do it for like personal reasons, or does it have to be like you're doing this because you want to go and like hang out with your friends, or because you don't want to miss out on what other people are doing? Because I don't really,
Yeah.
that doesn't really like phase me, like fear of missing out what other people are experiencing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
In that sense, it's not FOMO. You're not going because you're like you don't want to. You want to go. You're going because you want to go. I think when it comes to FOMO, the main driving force of you going is because
Of
you're
others.
you're
Oh, okay.
fearful of missing something.
Okay.
In your case, with like hanging out with someone, that may not be a
Yeah,
driving
that
force
couldn't be. Yeah.
Yeah.
of FOMO or anything
Yeah, I
like
know
that. But when it comes to like the games or anything
Yeah,
like that,
then-
it's definitely like
Yeah, because they rely on memory. Like they're just like, okay, not memory, on nostalgia. That's the word.
Yeah.
Because they're
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
you
Yeah.
remember all those good times,
Yeah.
and that's why they even
Yeah.
introduce they bring up all the things that the director has done.
Yeah.
Remember that movie that he did that
Made.
you liked so much?
Academy
Remember?
Award
Yeah,
winning director. Yeah.
exactly. And they're appealing to your nostalgia, and they're just like, you don't want to miss out on this memory that you could have forever. So
Yeah.
like I feel like that also has to play
For sure. I
play
agree
with
100%.
it. Like they play up on nostalgia. Yes, it's a current thing right now, but they're playing up on that. Hey, you remember that experience you had in the past. Like you don't want to miss out on this. So yeah, that's my whole thing.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I referred to it before, but how effective do you guys think marketing in general is?
Just
it's
in
a-
general.
Yeah, just marketing in general.
I think it's extremely important.
It's huge. Like they invest like millions and billions into marketing and those types of things. So it just shows that they know this is a big thing. If we can tap into, especially the psychology of
yeah.
people, you can get them to buy absolutely anything.
Because when I was younger, I used to think this is a thought I actually had. I used to be like, why do they spend so much money on advertising? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Because I used to think, I'm not like, I see this Budweiser ad during the Super Bowl. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
go buy a
That's
Budweiser.
true.
That's what I used to think,
Yeah, I
right?
had that too.
Always thought that growing up. Then after, as I got older, I realized that's actually really effective. Maybe for me personally, it doesn't, but like for people who are already in that, because they ask you,
Yeah.
what's the group, your target audience? So they're like, target audience are like people who watch the Super Bowl. They tend to be young guys, from 18 to 34, whatever. They're prime for drinking Budweiser in America. So once they go to the bar, they're not even thinking. They're already beer
Yeah.
drinkers, but they're not thinking, okay, what beer should I have? They
Yeah.
just, oh, let's give me a Budweiser.
And they know the name too, right?
Yeah.
Name recognition is
Yeah, so-
huge. Like
Yeah.
if you don't know anything about beer, if it's your first beer that
That's
you're
true.
gonna drink, you're
Yes.
just like, what beer do I drink? Oh,
Yeah.
Budweiser. Yeah. So that's why. So and I mentioned that, and I'm gonna mention it again. One of the biggest secrets with marketing is that people don't know the effect that it has on them. So even like when you're watching a movie, you're aware of that product placement is
Oh,
huge,
yes. Yes.
hugely
Major.
Why do you have a Lexus in a
James Bond.
movie?
Yeah.
It's because
Or Audi or
once you're gonna you want to be that James Bond, you're like, yeah, let me. And I don't know if Lexus is in James Bond. I'm just using
No,
that
no,
as
no.
an
Of course.
example, right?
You'd be right even if you said Audi or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's the high brand.
It's
and
a
that's
high
what-
brand, so like
that's
The
what
luxury
Lexus
cars.
does.
Yeah.
They want you to feel like, this is luxurious.
Luxury,
You don't want
yeah.
to miss out on luxury. So
yeah. So
Want to
one
be Bond.
yeah.
Yeah, so one of the biggest things that marketing does is that people don't know it's working on them, but it really is. So we have to be mindful of that. And so marketing, generally speaking, people buy stuff because of marketing between 50 to 55% just because of marketing. Other stuff
Wow.
that plays into thing is like word of mouth. Word of mouth is huge, right? Now, when it comes to FOMO, how effective do you guys think it is?
So you said marketing is like 50-ish
Yeah,
percent.
generally. Could be a little bit lower, but generally. Now, when it comes to FOMO, how effective
I think
do you
maybe it's
think?
around the same as marketing, like maybe 50%. Like in the decision making, right? You do it because
I'd say 80. I'd say 80 to 90, maybe.
So with FOMO, that 80 to 90 is really high, which, they're not hitting that. But
Okay,
with FOMO, it's about 60%
Wow.
of
it's up there.
our daily purchases are due because of FOMO.
Wow.
So like things that you purchase on the daily, you're just purchasing it because of that fear of missing out. Is that thing, why do I need a gum? Oh, it's the fear of missing out, It's so many things that has an effect on it. So what do you guys think about that? How impactful this marketing tragedy is of FOMO?
I never thought about it. This has never crossed my mind, but I think as I am thinking about it in retrospect, like it's definitely something that I can say a lot of marketing campaigns have been around this whole you don't
Yeah.
want to miss this, or like so many people are coming, they'll like not they won't show their statistics, but they would make it sound as if people are already at the event or at the
Yes,
place.
yes. Yeah.
And it's a very weird, strange thing, but that's I think that's
biggest event
Yeah.
of the century,
Yeah.
biggest
Yeah.
event of the
Promoter.
year.
Like
Like
this
it's just like,
promoter,
oh my
this
God.
guy, he's the promoter. You gotta be there.
yeah.
Has that ever happened? I know we're answering that question where you're like, you get so hyped for the event because of the promotion, then you go and it's like,
It's not that.
there's only like 20 people
yeah,
here.
yeah, no. I've been to a couple, and it's like, why did I even leave my house?
Yeah,
It's not fun.
It's like the ads and stuff was so nice.
Yeah, but I think that whole strategy is extremely effective
Yeah.
with all anything that has to do with marketing and getting people out of their homes and like into a specific
That's true.
venue.
That's true.
Man, that marketing strategy is FOMO. You're going with that for sure.
Yeah, like we don't go to clubs, but I know in those ads and stuff, they'll let you know like like there's gonna be like fine ladies there, ladies they put ladies no covers, so like there's gonna be a lot of ladies there and stuff, right? So
For the guys who are into that,
so
right?
the guys are like, I'm fearful that I'm gonna miss out on that if I don't come, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So some things that companies use is you mentioned it, ad campaign. That's pretty big that they use in
Hmm.
terms of FOMO. Info commercials. That's basic.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
huge, right? And
Mm-hmm.
another one, just commercial. Almost every commercial in general use FOMO.
FOMO.
That fear of missing out. Fear of if I don't buy this car, I'm gonna miss out a bit. If I don't buy this phone,
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna miss out on it. So almost every commercial that you use generally has something of FOMO in it.
Hmm.
Now, FOMO have gotten even bigger recently,
Mm-hmm.
and there's one reason why,
Hmm.
and that's because of social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Um, I agree with that.
Yeah, no, like I was thinking as he said that, I was just thinking there's this like there's a campaign against Hennessy right now, right?
Okay.
And
Hennessy,
people, the whiskey. Yeah,
okay.
the whiskey. And people are there, like a lot of black people are like, they don't support us, so we're not gonna support
Oh,
them.
okay. Did something happen with them
I
or?
guess I didn't
Okay.
really dig into it
Okay.
too much, but I just saw that this is happening online. And one thing that they did was they started introducing this new one. I forgot what the name was. I'll give a whack at it. I think it's
Mhm.
Mantrell or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah. So the whole motto behind Matrell's whole whiskey is "Be curious," right?
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
And it's like, okay, like, all right, I want to
Mhm.
try this thing. I want to see
Yeah.
what this is all
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah. Well,
why
I
is
miss. Yeah.
yeah,
What
I'm
am I
missing
gonna
out
miss if? Yeah. True.
This
on this
curiosity.
whole curiosity thing
Mhm.
and this whole Motrell thing. I know I'm butchering the name,
No, but just the
you
concept
know,
of
Yeah.
but the
curious.
concept
It's
of
like.
just their whole thing is just be curious. Like,
Mhm.
try it and see. Like you see all these celebrities drinking
Yeah.
this drink,
Yeah.
you try it too. So yeah, I think that
And
it
that's
works.
especially what they do with social media, as you mentioned, the celebrity part. Because then what they would do, they'll spend money to get celebrities to endorse certain
Yes,
products.
yes,
And just that endorsement aspect alone, you're just
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, well, if LeBron James
Yeah.
is drinking XYZ, I want to drink that too, right? So,
Mhm.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And the fans have an
Yeah.
influence on each other because
yeah.
although you may see LeBron with it, that's
Oh,
cool.
no.
But if like myself and Terry and Tari and Trudy also follow LeBron, and I see Tari rocking that thing that
Yeah.
LeBron was
Yeah.
rocking,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, okay,
I
Tari and
definitely-
LeBron,
I need that
like, I
too.
need that too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? So that
Yeah, and
works.
it's like where we, you know how we jokingly we're always telling Terry like, bro, we all have iPhones. You need
yeah,
to,
yeah, yeah.
you need to,
get
you
into
need
the
to
iPhone.
get on the
falling
iPhone.
Terry's like, I'm not going for
We're
that
using
FOMO.
iMessages and stuff. Come on, man.
Doesn't want the
man.
blue bubble?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Doesn't want that
it's
blue
green
bubble.
whenever you
Bubble.
text me. Come on, man.
Gross green.
Should be blue. But for me, like one of the things with the technology that goes with what you're saying with the social media, they was saying that there's this new thing called. Well, I don't know if it's new, but it's definitely more popular now. It's called phantom vibration syndrome. So this is the idea that the perception that one's mobile is vibrating or ringing when it is not. So it's like it's majority of cell phone users report experiencing this with the rates ranging between 25 to 90% of people.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's like even if your
Yeah.
phone
That
your
used to happen
phone
to
is
me all
on
the time.
silent
Yeah.
and it's off, it's in your pocket, you'll take it up and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm like you're pretty
Yeah.
sure you got a notification even though you don't have anything or even if
It's
it's
one of
away."
those things where you constantly
Interesting.
keep checking to see if you get more likes and everything. Like,
Yeah.
Or to see if
Yeah.
anyone messaged you or anyone looked at
Wow.
your
That has
Instagram.
happened to me a couple of times where like I'm checking for my phone and I look around
Yeah.
the room and I see my phone is like across the room
Yeah.
and I'm like, I swear I
Right.
felt
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, you thought
in
it
my
was
pocket.
vibrating.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought it was
Wow.
vibrating. But it
Or if you
wasn't.
see someone checking your phone, you'll check it.
yeah, if they're
yourself.
checking their
Yeah.
checking their phone, then like I'll check mine. But yeah.
So
That's
cuz
true. That's actually a
Yeah.
funny one. The checking your phone thing.
Mhm.
Because like, let's say when you go to certain places and let's say the event didn't start yet,
yeah,
and like you see other people like on their phone.
Yeah,
you're
you're
just
gonna-
like,
well,
"Oh,
the
I
perfect
wanna-"
the
on my
perfect
phone.
example is
So,
like I
yeah.
know you drive and stuff, but like on the bus.
Yeah.
sometimes some people they weren't going to check their phone, but they
But
look
s-
around
and
and everyone
everybody's
else
on
is
their phone.
on their
Yeah.
phone, so they're on
You're
their
just like,
phone
"Oh,
too.
I
So
gotta
then when
pull it
you
out."
come in the bus, you see like every single one is just on their phone. So you just
Exactly.
do the same thing. So with technology addiction, that's one of the ways that it
Wow.
gets you going. That just shows like you don't want to miss out on the latest text
Yeah.
or whatever, or you just want to know what's happening. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily like you just want to know what's up, so you're
Yeah.
all constantly checking.
Yeah. So this is where, like we mentioned, FOMO is not necessarily a bad thing, but when it comes to social media, that's when it can become a bad thing because they did research and everything like that, and people who generally spend more time on social media, it generally, on average, not as happy as someone who doesn't
Just live
consume,
their life.
yeah,
Yeah.
as much time as social media. So we have to be mindful of that. As I said, I don't really think there's anything per se wrong with FOMO.
Like
Um,
I think
but
with the social media, like if the only time you're just coming on social media like Instagram or YouTube or whatever, and you just go onto YouTube, you search relatively related, you go on Instagram, you
Like,
search
comment,
for
subscribe.
you like, comment, subscribe. If that's all you're doing, it's not so bad. It's not
It's
that
not.
bad.
It's
That's
actually
good.
encouraged.
Yeah,
We want you
it's
to do that.
encouraged.
So just do that right now. We'll wait.
FOMO.
Comment too.
FOMO. FOMO. All right, great. Now we're back.
Sorry.
that's okay. But when it becomes bad, it's like when you're checking on Facebook and you see someone, enjoying a time on a vacation or anything like
Yes.
that, and you're
Yeah.
just like, oh, I want to have that fun that they're having. That's when it becomes bad because you don't know what they did to get to that
earn the
vacation.
money to-
Yeah. So that's when it becomes bad. So
They probably killed someone.
Sold drugs.
yeah, so social media and FOMO is a big thing that's happening now, and that's when you see a lot of depression and everything like that because you're not as happy as you are
So-
because you're constantly comparing yourself to this image that people portray on social media.
So I know there's a lot of different things. I don't know. Maybe Trudy might know better, but like what they're talking about, why there's so much depression now. I know sometimes it's related to the food we eat and stuff, but I guess social media could be part of it
That's
because you see
huge
a lot
one.
of
Yeah.
young.
That's
They're
a-
doing a
like
lot
sh-
of research into
yeah.
that right now because with young people, they don't like, especially in terms of like even brain development, they're not fully there as yet. Like
They're
you know,
stupid.
no, not stupid. But like as they would say, like this is their frontal lobe where you control like executive functioning and those types of things, knowing the difference between what's real and what's not real.
Yeah.
That may not be as developed in let's say an 11-year-old, and they're on Instagram and they're seeing all these fun things, so they think, oh, well, my friend's life is perfect. Why isn't my life perfect?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I hate myself.
Yeah.
And then you get
Yeah.
depressed. So that's why you're seeing a lot of depression amongst younger people now.
That makes sense.
Yeah, as a result.
Like, because I was talking to someone, and they were telling me their 6-year-old child was asking them to buy like 200 like dolls for them, and she's like, "What? Why do you need 200 of those? It's like the ones
LOL dogs.
LOL dolls, right?"
Yeah.
Oh, surprise.
So she's like, "Why do you need 200 or so?" But she's like, she showed her mom. She's like, "Look, like on YouTube, they actually had this channel where this girl, she has like hundreds of them. Like she has a castle with just them. Like obviously, like they have a lot of money. So the girl is seeing that and thinking that but her mom is like, no, that's not like I'm not.
That's
I'll
not
just maybe
realistic.
get
But
you
you know
one,
what?
but
That's
it's
what's
not
really
realistic.
sad. Like I realize that especially with kids, and I think it's a really sad practice like these companies are doing. Like they're
Marketing to
preying
kids.
on these kids.
Yeah.
Like LOL surprise. Like okay, we're not like hitting you guys or anything, but just the concept. Have you guys ever looked at the packaging for LOL surprise?
Isn't it like a bubble type of thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the key
Yeah.
part,
Oh, yeah,
surprise, meaning
Surprise.
you
You
can't
don't
see
know.
You
what
don't
it
know what
is.
you're getting into.
So you don't know what you're getting. So you,
You
buy
might
the
want the
thing,
Beyonce one,
and
but you
yeah,
get
let's
the-
say you want one particular one, but
But
you
you
don't get it. So then now you're just like, man,
Let me go
maybe
buy
the
it
next
then, yeah.
the,
The next
next
one I
bubble
buy.
had it. So you gotta go buy the next one.
Gotta catch
You
up.
know?
Sure, you
man.
don't have to worry
It's
about
Pokemon
that.
all over. No,
Isn't
it's
that-
Pokemon all over again.
Yeah, it's Pokemon,
Yeah.
but like, isn't that,
other thing.
also like the whole gambling
Oh, it
mentality?
is. It is.
Like,
yeah.
I swear
Gambling
that
guess.
luck.
It is. Yeah.
what's the deal with these
Gambler's
big companies
fallacy.
like doing this?
Yeah.
Because Chuck E. Cheese also does this with the whole gambling thing, and that's
Kinda
weird.
With
Yeah.
That's
kids,
just weird.
it's like because the gambler's fallacy is like whatever you do, you always think the next time you're going
You're
to
gonna
get it.
get
You're
it.
gonna get. That's why people are like, why do they keep gambling? No, they actually think the next time they go, they're gonna win. That's gonna be the big shot. So with the kids, it's like the next one I open, that's gonna be
It's
the
gonna
one
be the
I
one,
want.
yeah. And
Because
it's like
there's so many different types, so they keep
So
going.
this is so dangerous because
that's what I'm saying.
you have like
Little kids.
yeah, you have little kids doing this, but it's
Yeah.
also like it's the concept of I don't wanna, pull this one, like I'm gonna buy this doll, but
Yeah.
it's not really
It's
the
not
one
the
that
one
I
I want,
want,
yeah.
right? But you're so you're gonna buy a bunch of others because you're fearful that you're gonna
Of
be missing
missing
out.
Yeah, you're
out,
missing
yeah.
out
with your
on the
friends.
one.
Like
yeah.
imagine like
Like-
your friend has this particular one and you want that one, then
This
you're
is
gonna buy like
baffling.
10.
I know they
I
had.
could barely speak.
I know they
It's
had
crazy.
one where like it's like it was a black LOL, right?
Yeah.
So imagine like a black kid, they want the black one because it's
Yeah.
like nothing wrong with the white one, but you want the black one, right?
Yeah.
Looks
So
like
you
you,
keep
yeah.
Like you want that representation.
yeah, you want the
so-
representation.
But
So
jeez, oh my god.
yeah, that's crazy. It's
crazy
all
world.
over, man.
I don't know.
So
I'm scared.
just be aware that companies are not like they're just there for one purpose
money.
only.
To make
To
a
make
profit.
money, and they'll do anything to achieve that, right? Whether that means playing up on kids to get them to force their parents to buy stuff, right? So they use fear of missing out on kids all the time, and we have to be mindful of that when it comes to our kids, right?
That's hard because like a child doesn't really understand that. Hey, we have to, I shouldn't play into this concept of FOMO. Like, and imagine as adults, like we're even realizing, like, man, this is happening to us, and we're not even realizing. So imagine a kid, like that's even worse.
And I just want to throw something in there because it's relevant to this thing, and it goes back to just in general what we're talking about, but it goes back to with like technology, right? What they do is like right now they lower the time of release of dopamine, right? So before it's like you to check your email, right? You would actually have to get up like when computers came out, get up, log onto an old-fashioned computer, load the email, check it. Now it's like every email comes, you immediately get that ping, right? Or every like you get, you immediately get that notification. So it's like it plays up on
So you're
that.
checking your phone way more. than
Yeah,
you
it plays up
normally
on
do.
that spike of dopamine. You get that spike of interest you get by getting a reward. Like you have a nice, like Troy, you're a photographer, you have a nice picture, you got a thumbs up. It may not affect you the same, but for some people, they're like,
Yeah,
as
it does.
photographers, they're like, every like counts, right? So they get the like. So it's like lowers the time in between that interjection of like
interval.
the interval of the release. So like now it's like you're always having it. So that actually causes you to want it more.
That's like drugs.
Because you become yeah, no, that's what
It's
happens.
literally drugs. Like we're
Because
addicted now.
It's not as one spike is
That's
not
like
as
drugs.
effective as it was before. Before that one spike was like really effective, but now because you get it all the time, you need it. You need it more and more. So that's one of the things they use, and that's the same with the kids. It's like
Yeah.
kids now they get like a lot of the toys or whatever they want, so it's kind of like lower the time in between, and that's what the technology does. It takes advantage of that fact, right?
People are gross and disgusting. Like just
Well,
gross and
they're trying to make a
disgusting.
profit, right?
Yeah, but still, the way
It's
that
not
you're
good,
doing
yeah.
it is not moral at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they,
Oh God.
They
I'm
don't-
sorry.
yeah,
guys.
they don't care. The bottom line is to make money. Now, that be like, obviously, I think this is an obvious answer to this question. What generation do you think is most effective by the FOMO strategy? So, of all the generation, whether Generation X, Generation Z, what generation do you think is the most effective by the FOMO strategy? I think it's obvious, at least, to me.
Yeah, I think it's this one and millennials. Like
Whatever comes
anyone,
behind.
yeah, anything millennial
behind.
and anything after millennial,
Yeah.
and millennial, then yeah.
I don't know what they're called anymore, but
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
the ones.
I think there's like they're
Gen
Gen
Y?
Z,
Gen
or-
Z and
Z?
yeah.
Gen Zen,
I don't know.
Gen Z.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So the research didn't follow anything after millennium, so I
Okay,
don't know
okay,
about
okay.
that.
Okay.
part.
Pretty sure
So
Gen Z.
millennial and yeah.
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 Yeah,
okay.
but
And after.
definitely the peak of FOMO is millennials.
Millennials.
wow.
Because,
Yeah.
as I mentioned, 60% of people in general make purchases within 24 hours because of FOMO. With millenniums, it goes up to 70%. So every 7 out of 10 millennials make the purchase that they make is because of
FOMO.
FOMO.
Wow.
So that's a crazy increase when you think about that. So just to go over some of the strategies that they use. Um, One of them is tease your audience. We mentioned that, right? So
Yeah.
like they'll say like, "Oh, this is coming out within 2 weeks," you know. So they tease you,
And
they
the thing is,
entice
right?
you.
Before, if you guys notice with movies, before it was just like trailers. But now they have like the production is starting. You know, okay, this like you know that like in a couple years the next story is coming out. That's the first thing. So like before it was like just the trailer a couple weeks before. Now then there's that and then there's the teaser. The teaser is different than the trailer.
Yep.
That's
So like they have different ways of like tantalizing us,
Tantalizing.
tantalizing you before, right?
I remember with Avengers, I think was it Endgame
Mm-hmm.
or what's the other one? There's Endgame and something else, but
Yeah.
the first one, like they
Infinity War, right?
Infinity War and Endgame,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So with Infinity War, they did a production trailer, so a behind the scenes trailer before they even did a teaser trailer or a trailer
Yeah.
for the thing. And this was like at least I'd say 2 years before the movie even came
wow.
out.
Yeah.
So they were really into that whole strategy that you just talked
And
about.
even when you watch the movies and like Avengers and stuff, like they're big on that. Where you sit down, the movie's done.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
have to sit for
Yeah,
that
it's
extra
a-
little
the-
scene
yeah.
to see like what's gonna
What's
come next.
coming
And you
next.
know it's gonna be like a solid like 2 years
Yeah.
maybe or a
It's-
year
it-
before,
It's
right?
funny because this week I was watching like this video game trailer and then like I was so excited. I'm like, this looks really good. And then at the end they're like at the end I saw that they're like coming fall 2021. So I'm like, wait, this thing is a year and a half away. Why am I? But that's to get the
Yeah.
anticipation
Yeah.
going from early.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
one, they tease their audience. The next one is product in high demand, right? I'm sure you've seen that. Even now, if you think about it, Netflix is doing a similar thing where they have the top 10 or whatnot. So because you're looking at that, oh, this is really in high demand. What am
So
I?
true.
That's
'cause I'm
true.
like, why
That
are they
is
showing me
true.
like the top 10 in Canada right now? Like, I
Yes,
don't
that is true. And I actually clicked
And I
those.
knew
Yeah.
that we watched a movie based on that the other
and
day, and it was horrible.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Is it that I think I'm thinking of breaking up or something like that? I'm thinking
No,
of ending
it's-
things.
Guaranteed.
No, guaranteed
Love guaranteed.
Oh well, that's where
Anyways.
you messed up.
No.
Love was in the title, so
It's-
you
it's
don't.
a-
I know it was
You definitely don't wanna do
Anyways.
that.
Trudy said the best thing. She's like, "This is a Hallmark movie." Like,
Yeah, it is.
On Netflix,
Yeah,
like
it
literally,
was
that's
so
what it
bad.
was.
Oh my God.
Anyways,
we
Yeah.
try to support black because the black
Yeah.
guy was one of the main,
Oh,
one of the Wayne brothers.
Support
yeah.
black businesses at
Yeah.
all times. But
But
Yeah,
it was
so
bad.
product in high demand. Once people see something is in a lot of popularity or whatnot, they try to figure out what exactly am I missing out? Am I missing something? I have to check it out. So sometimes we go to crappy movies
Oh my gosh.
because we think we're missing out of something. We buy product because everyone have it, even
it's
though
so true. It's
even
so
though
true.
it's really bad. So once something is in high demand, company play up on that. So you'll see them say, "Oh, we sell over a million
Yeah.
stuff."
Oh, yeah.
Why do you need to know that?
Yeah.
It's because they know that once you hear so much people are buying it, you start thinking to myself, "Oh, I need to go get it."
like
Right?
now I understand, and I think that it's a case with the PS5. Like, cause when that thing drops,
Yeah.
cause right now they're about to release it. I
The-
think
the
in
price.
this coming week
Yeah.
they're gonna release the price.
The price. That's
And-
what everyone's waiting for. What is the price of this thing?
Nonsense.
Listen, man. When that day comes, don't even knock on my door. Don't even listen. I am waking up bright and early, and I'm starting my computer, and I'm logging into the website and watching that stream for the entire thing because
Yeah.
I need to know the price.
And
need
I
to-
think there's a bit of the nostalgia, as you said before, but like that whole that memory, that institutional memory. So for example, you've always been on PlayStation, right? Like even from before. So you're like, okay, I played, for example, Spider-Man in the previous PlayStation.
Uncharted.
Or Uncharted. I want to play the new one, right? Because I was showing him this week, him and like another friend. I'm like, oh yeah, the Xbox is coming out, and Charles was just like, no, that's it's like a piece of crap.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
a
care about that.
garbage box. I don't need that.
Don't tell me anything about that, because he has that thing. So he want to continue
Yeah.
And
not
it's like a
missing the
brand loyalty
franchises,
too,
right? That
yeah.
yeah.
It
and,
is.
and
It
I'm
is.
thinking, as you're talking about the strategies they use, even like things like YouTube, like when you go on trending,
Yeah.
I'm always like, why
Well-
does this video have 10 million views in
And you
24
wanna
hours? I
check it
want to
out.
see what it
Yeah.
is about,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
true.
that's the next one. Another one is the show the product availability. So like
Okay.
you'll
Big.
see, for example, you'll see like, oh, there's 10 left. You're just
Yeah.
like, I
Need
want
to
to
get
be.
it.
And
Plane tickets are big for
Yeah.
and reality is there's
There's more.
always more.
Of course.
Lies.
So don't
Lies.
believe
Well,
like
there's not always more. Like the
But-
PlayStation 5 is legit good, can sell out, you know?
We don't know
Well,
that.
are they gonna get more?
They will get more. Yeah, oh, I see what you're saying. I
Yeah,
see what you're saying.
in reality is company, even if it sells out, it's a strategy that they know that they're using to know that once that sell out, the demand for it is even going to be
Skyrocket.
greater. So
That's true.
yeah, so be aware of that.
It's
that
true. And I used to
Wow.
think of that like, back in the day when like, commercials were a thing. Like now we like stream everything.
Yeah.
But when you'd watch those infomercials, for a limited time only,
Yes.
call right now. And then I used to say, okay, I saw that commercial on Monday.
Yeah, and they're like, if
And
you
then
call
like
in the
2
next
weeks,
30
if you
minutes.
call in the next 30 minutes, and then 2 weeks later, the same commercials. And I'm like, but wait, wasn't it like unlimited like
Yeah.
last week?
Yeah.
What's going
That's
on?
true.
So it's a lie.
That's true.
And a little
It's a
tip.
strategy.
A strategy.
It's a strategy. It's a strategy.
Lie.
And a little tip for anyone out there: if you are an individual who gets emails about those things, just wait and like refresh that link on the day that you want to buy it. And
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
that timer is gonna restart. I've done it many times. Yeah.
It's true, man.
absolutely. And next one, which this testimonial. So like you'll see someone saying, "Oh yeah, this product is really good or what."
They do that a lot with weight loss.
And you have to be aware too.
I lost 50 pounds
companies are really, they go above and beyond what you don't think they do. For example, you might just be walking down the street and you hear someone say, "Oh yeah, I went to this restaurant and it's the best restaurant I have." Sometimes that's actually a plan.
Oh my
And as soon
gosh.
as they're passing by you, they say that so that you're like, "Oh, what restaurant?" So they mention the name as soon.
Oh,
So they'll be
wow.
like, "I went to Saffron Frank or whatever,
Wow.
and it was the best, and the price is good. You'll be surprised to know how cheap, how inexpensive it is. The service there are really good. There are plans sometimes, not all the time, but
Wow.
sometimes.
So you're telling
So-
me like people like just on the elevator or just in
Sometimes they
lying
plan
to me?
people there.
I wouldn't be
So
shocked,
the
when you think about
yeah.
it.
company.
I know there are some jobs where they're like you're flexible, you can be a marketer for a company, but you're just like at home or whatever. So I guess that's part of it, like where you're just
so
walking around.
it's not tailored like how you traditional think it is, which is effective to where they like, you see those infomercial and someone is telling you how great that product
Yeah.
is. Other times they use plants, so like people on the street that you don't think is planting in your mind for you to make that purchase.
That's
They're there
true.
as well. So just be I'm not trying to make you,
No. And even
paranoid or
with your-
anything like
I
that.
trust no one and nothing. Okay? From this point on, I am just a cold
Yeah, man.
individual.
Yeah, man. I don't care what you say.
But we just have to be mindful that the companies go above and
It's
beyond
true.
to market this.
Because I know, like, for Tari and I, based on our personalities, like, if we have to buy anything, go anywhere, like, we're big on reviews, right?
100%.
So
So-
we're big on reviews. TripAdvisor, like, that was my thing, right? But then I realized that, like, especially on Amazon now, you'll see people
Yeah.
starting to say, like, they have to say, I don't know if they have to, but this is a paid
They have to say
testimonial.
Oh,
like,
okay.
the company sent me this product for my review. So things like that, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that happens. Like where they send people things and then they expect reviews in return, and so you may never know if they don't disclose that information, they'll give it high praise.
Yeah.
But in actuality, they were giving it for free.
And with
And
that,
Amazon-
they
Oh, yeah.
eliminate the whole the transaction feature because
Yeah.
that's the thing that will get people upset. I gave you money for a product,
Yes,
and
Yeah.
yes.
if I'm getting this product for
For
free,
free.
and I'm just like, it's an all right product. It was
Yeah.
free. I'll give it a better review than
Yeah,
if
for
I
sure.
paid for
Paid,
it. you know?
yeah,
Yeah, and
that's big.
like Amazon, I know that's a big thing. It's good you mentioned that one. I know there's been a lot of controversy over like companies, they pay for reviews. Like they
Yeah.
pay like, to get like a 500 reviews of 5 stars. So you're just like, how come some of the most basic products are like they get so much like 5 star or whatever? Sometimes they pay for like those
Wow.
type of things. Yeah.
Now I'm never gonna trust any review that I read. Like that's just it.
Yeah. So I'll just go over the last two quickly. The next one is time FOMO. So limited time, like Shudi
Yeah.
mentioned, that's a big one. Now, I think this one is probably the biggest one, and we're all aware of it. Is deal FOMO. So
Yeah.
like,
Oh yeah.
and even the biggest one is when you go to a grocery store, right? You see
Yeah.
something like 2 for $1 or whatnot. Realistically, you only need one,
Yeah.
but you're getting two because of the deal, right?
Yeah.
So that's something that companies play up on, the deals FOMO. That's huge, and I'm not to go into it, but we all aware that it exists. So
I'm very aware of that. And it's like one thing that will help you with this whole deal FOMO thing is you just remember that that is the company like trying to stay afloat. Like they're
Yeah.
like, guys, we need people in here really, really
Yeah.
fast. So like when you see those deals, just think to yourself, they're gonna need to like come back up for air when they're drowning, when
Yeah.
they don't have a lot of people, coming in for business and all that stuff. So
It's like a back and forth game
Yeah.
of chess, right?
Yeah.
Like, do I really need this now? Maybe not, so I don't have to. But eventually, it's gonna come back and
yeah,
stuff.
because how they set it up is that it's like, oh well, we're giving the deal, so we have the power. But really and truly, the
You have
customer
the
has
power.
the
You have the power,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, so remember that.
I know a couple times, like I bought something where I'm sure this has happened to you guys. Once you buy something, don't go back and check because
Oh
like
yeah. That's
you
what
buy
we're
something,
doing.
you're like, oh, they're like it's 30% off now. This is the best price you'll
Yeah.
ever see it.
And then
2 weeks later, you see it for like a $50 less, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what? I thought that was. Don't go back and check.
Yeah,
just like
don't.
yeah.
Just don't.
So it proves like they're trying to play up on that, but actually, you can still get the deal at some point. Right?
Yeah. So, just to wrap everything up, some of the ways we can overcome FOMO, because I think it's important also. First thing is that acknowledge that it exists. I know Troy is
Yeah,
saying it
no, I
doesn't.
No, but I
Okay.
think by the
I
end of the
acknowledge it
discussion,
now,
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
acknowledge it now.
acknowledge that it exists. To solve any problem, you have to know that it's actually there, right? So
Yeah.
acknowledge it. It's there. Slow down. So take your time when you're making a purchase. Like, understand, why am I making this purchase? Is it really necessary for me to make this purchase? Slow down. Take your time. The deals, trust me, it's always going to be there. So slow down when
true.
you make
could I just add one thing?
Yeah.
I know when I did a sales job once, and I remember they told us the one thing you don't want is for the client, the potential that you have in front of you, to say, I'm going to go home and come back.
Think
Because
about
like
it.
most people, they don't. Once they actually think about it overnight, they change their mind. If they come back, then it really was worth it. But like, you can pretend like, yeah, you can go, but in your mind, you want to get the deal on the
Yeah.
day, right? So
With salesperson, everyone knows ABCs. Always be closing. Once you have the clients in front of you, always close them. Don't let them leave. Use as many FOMOs as you can. Oh, everyone is buying it. This is only for a limited time. It's the best deal that
only
you're going to
today.
find. It's only for today. All those strategies are what they use to get you to buy the
Those
product.
car salesmen.
So
yeah.
I just remember this one. He's just like, this is like the best selling car
Yeah.
in Durham. You
Yeah.
got to. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
he's like, you
okay.
got it.
ABC
Yeah.
always be closing,
I
more
guess.
like ABC always be conniving. That's what it is.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
what it is. Okay.
I know.
I
So
see.
some others that I have done, have gratitude. Take a journal. Write down. Be grateful for what you have. So that
Good
will
point.
That's big,
Good
yeah.
point.
Yeah. So that
I
was.
guess the iPhone is the basic one is not bad.
It's not bad.
Ty, don't
guess
I
it
have the
does.
S?
Well, yeah,
You,
but
what do you have again?
the 11,
That
just the
is-
regular
Isn't
one.
that one better than
Yeah,
mine?
I guess Thank you. I'm thankful
grateful.
to have you.
Yes.
How many cameras do you have in the back of yours?
Two.
I have one.
But there's the one with 3. But anyway, I'm happy for the 2. I'm happy for the 2.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
And next one that I have done, because social media is so big on it, spend less time with social media.
Yeah.
You know, then you're not going to be as effective with fear of missing out on something that you saw. Um, I think this one is important also. Understand where the feeling is coming from. Understand why you're doing the stuff that you're doing, why you want to make this purchase. So understand that. Um, realize that you're actually not missing out on whatever is happening. Realize
true.
that you're not missing out on a deal. Realize that you're not missing out on this product with your PS5. You're not actually missing out on it.
I know I'm not, but I'm gonna convince myself that I am.
And the last one I have is be okay with not being able to do it all. So be okay
That's
with
a
that.
big
Be
one.
content, man.
That's
I
a big one.
absolutely
Be
disagree with
content.
that.
Be content.
So that's about it for
was really good.
my thing
Yeah,
on
thanks.
FOMO. Is there anything that you guys have to add or anything like that?
No, I feel
no.
like I can be a better. For me, I feel like I can. It's just knowing and just to be more aware. There is some things I'll still obviously get that I want to enjoy, but I'm gonna be more aware of the decisions I made. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last thing, I know I mentioned it in the podcast, is that now that we understand what FOMO is, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, and we all acknowledge that we do have some sort of FOMO, just for the audience and stuff like that, what is your FOMO?
Okay.
My FOMO is the PS5. That's my FOMO. That's my FOMO.
My FOMO is because I'm big on experiences. So like
Yeah.
I think that's the one that can get me at times if I'm not careful. Like, oh man, this person went to India. Like, I want to go to India. Like, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, experiences. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I have so many. I don't have enough time. No, I'm just the big 3, like the food. I want to try. Like I see
Yeah,
this new
man.
restaurant. I'm like, I want to try. If there's a restaurant that's getting really good reviews, I keep up with that stuff.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So I want to try it, right? And the extra places, I want to go to a few places before I hit the bucket. There's a few places I want to go to. I'm not going to go through them. And obviously, as I mentioned, through the technology, I want to keep up with the latest technology as much as I can. But I do realize now, based on what you're saying, it's not worth it. It's not always worth it.
It's not.
Yeah.
It isn't worth it. That's what they tell us.
For me, it's sounds silly, but my FOMO is when it comes to watching sports.
Oh, yeah, you are, yeah.
No, that's not
Yeah.
silly.
No,
That's
but
not silly.
the reason why I don't like watching replays of sports, I like to watch it live
Like, yeah.
because I'm just fearful that the game that I don't watch is a game that's going to be an amazing game where it's something that never happened before. So that's my FOMO. Like, I'll stay up late just to catch a blowout or something like that on the fear that I'm going to miss something. So that's my FOMO. And
It's crazy.
Harry's
We
opposite.
have this. Yeah, I only watch highlights. Yeah, actually,
Harry, what?
Yeah, I watch highlights.
No.
I don't watch the games.
like
Highlights.
But
that's
Terry,
the
you're like so like into sports.
Like,
highlights.
that's how he can do it because he watches highlights straight.
Yeah.
So
No,
it's
I-
quick.
I don't watch whole. Like I watch the fourth quarter.
I like watching.
makes
I
sense.
like watching from the first to the fourth quarter. I might miss a big dunk or something like that.
Yeah.
I might miss a goal or something
It's
like
gonna
that.
show up on
I
the
might miss a touchdown, but you're not experiencing it live. So that's my FOMO. Like I'm just fearful that I'm gonna miss something once I don't watch it.
Yeah.
It's silly,
and,
but
and we don't want the family to think like. Obviously, we have the sappy fears too, like where we don't fear of missing experiences with our kids and stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're gonna get into that.
And more of the societal fears and things like that. So next week I'll be talking about like the societal fears. But I think that's a good question you asked, like for us and the audiences as well.
So
Like,
just post what your FOMO is.
I definitely know what our audience's FOMO is. Our audience's FOMO is fear of missing out on subscribing and giving this video a thumbs up if you liked it and subbing if you loved it.
And a 5-star review.
and the 5-star review on
iTunes.
iTunes. Okay, that's definitely something that I think the family would be fearful of missing out on. So, with that, I think we can say bye, right, Terry?
Yeah. Bye.
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 Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Later.